Hi there guys, it's Adrian from IAmJadoreTV, and I have another editing video. Haven't done one of these in a while, and this one I am fully focusing on more backlit situations, where maybe we've got this case we have a sunset shot in Morocco, of course shot on the Canon EOS RP, and I had the 24-70 version 2, that's the EF version, so obviously I had the converter. But as you can see, I shoot sort of when it's sort of low light, I shoot a bit underexposed, so you can bring back the detail in the shadows a lot better. And obviously I wanted to keep somewhat details in the sky, so we can sort of bring it back. Because if I expose this picture for her, the lighting in the sky would literally just be completely blown out, and maybe sort of you wouldn't be able to recover it as well. So without further ado, we're gonna get into this. So the first thing I'll probably do, I'm gonna sort the profile, white balance, and then I'll go to calibration. That's usually my first things that I do. I'm gonna one of my favorites is vivid and landscape. The majority of the shots I do obviously are broad, so obviously landscape would help with that. I think I'm going to use vivid for this one, just to see how it brings it a bit darker, but we can resolve that. A little trick I use is to bring back some details in the shadows and lower the contrast without compromising any detail or added noise into the picture or unwanted grain. So that's another good little trick you can do there. And I think I'll raise the shadows a bit. Now it has a bit of vignetting because of the lens, so we can fix that in lens corrections. If you enable profile connections, as you can see, it fixed that. I think it blows out the sky a bit too much for me, so I'm not going to use that. You can do it manually. I think I'll just do a bit of manual as well, because I'm happy with that. So let's go to, I'm going to use the color balance just to bring back the tones that were actually in the picture. You see how the difference in the warmth, literally just changing the warmth. We haven't even done much yet from that to simply just changing the warmth. So I'll leave it around here because we're going to add some more in actual Photoshop after this. So I'm going to leave that there. And also, because we've taken down the contrast here, what we can do to add back in the dehaze, I do like a bit of dehaze. As you can see, like that it adds a bit of it's not contrast obviously, but it's a similar sort of, it's less harsh than the contrast. And we're gonna have a bit more clarity just there. And we're going to do the highlights. You see how that brings the sky back, just bringing the highlights down, blown out, and then you get some more detail in. And that's because I exposed just enough for the sky and then just enough that I can bring her back as well. So it was a balance between the two. Most people would expose for either the sunset or expose for the subject, and obviously if I expose for the subject, it completely would have completely blown out the sky, and it would have been probably you couldn't recover that. I don't want to touch the texture tool, sort of. I think I'll put the whites a bit down, so we're getting a bit more, as you see, a bit more detail in the sky. I'm gonna go to calibration. As you can see it brings like a bit of more magenta into the the picture with using a green primary, and I'm gonna just a touch of the blue. You see what that's done to the back, to the sunset. But it's changed, as you can see, it's changed a bit of her skin tone, so we're gonna red primary sorts that back out. There you go. The sort of tones that I would like. So I think I'll bring up the shadows just a bit more so you can see it. And actually we can just put the contrast up slightly, and I'm happy with that. If you want to, like, her face is a little bit dark, so what we can do is use the Radial Filter, shadows around 25. I'll fix that, we don't want that. Then you can like adjust it to how you want it. I'm happy with that. As you see, you can just brought her face back in so you can kind of see her face a bit more. If you wanted to, you could use the graduated filter. You could apply it on the sky, and then obviously you can use the eraser tool just to erase. You don't want it to go over the model. And then you could probably bring some more, like make the sky a bit more pinky if that's your sort of thing, and you could do a bit more with the graduated filter. I'm happy with how it looks like this. And next I think I'll just go to HSL adjustments, bring the yellows just a bit that way. And also the luminance can help as well. You can bring the luminance up, or bring the luminance down. Also these blues, trying to help the saturation of the blues. Doesn't really need much on there, the HSL adjustments with this one. And also a great tool, if you haven't used it already, is the targeted adjustment tool. If you can't find the color in the HSL, you can literally just sample the color and then change the saturation or hue or luminance that way. So if I click saturation, if I wanted this sky more saturated, it will do it for me. As you can see, it brings the saturation up for you where you selected, but I don't need that, so I'm going to undo that. But just for future reference, it's a great tool to use. Yeah, so I'm happy with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it into Photoshop. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to just slightly adjust the colors more. I'm doing that. We're going to use color balance, and we're going to use highlights. I'm going to bring some more yellow into here just to bring that back. You see what that's done? That was the original, and just simple tweaking of the colors. Bring that back. Add a little bit of magenta just to give it that, bring back that nice evening sunset. And we're going to zoom back out just to get a better look. And midtones, just a bit more, just a bit of yellow there with the midtones. And yeah, that would be it. I think I'm happy with the result here. I mean, if you, at this point, this is probably where you do any skin retouching or blemishes, anything like that, but this model doesn't. Possibly you could do some like dodge and burning just to bring back some like definition back on the model, like on the legs for instance, or face, just to give a bit more. But as this shot is further back, I don't think I would need any. But yeah, I'm pretty much happy with the result of that. If you go back to like the original image at the beginning of the video, we can see, you're able to see exactly what we brought it from, when the model was basically nearly dark and you couldn't see anything, and then it was exposed for the backlight. That's how you sort of bring it back and get amazing detail. And yeah, that's the best way that I usually do sunset shots, especially when I'm away and I'm abroad. I always do sunset shots, and that's exactly the method that I use for when I bring it back in editing when I'm back home. So yeah, if you like that, guys, if you like that editing tutorial, want to see more, like, comment, definitely subscribe, and yeah, let me know what you want me to cover next, whether it be portraits or anything, Photoshop, anything like that. Let me know. Obviously, again, this was taken with the Canon EOS RP. Everything I've used will be in the description below, so check that out. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one.